You could be the first and the second and the third and the rest of it. You could be one left with things I love. Sunday morning breakfast with my bedroom door locked. I like everything that has a cherry on top. Get on my list of the things I love, love, love. You could be the one I trust. All the second chances, they are nothing for us. I like it all with the cherry on top.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I just have a cook and clean with me. As you can see, our kitchen is a hot mess. Comment below if your kitchen looks like this, like after a crazy school morning, because ours always does if we wake up like 2 minutes past the time that we're supposed to, or if one thing goes wrong, we kind of just leave it all, get the kids to school, and then come back and clean it up. It has been super rainy and cold here in Pennsylvania, so I'm just turning on the fire. I wanted to try and just make this really relaxing, just so that I would want to clean, because I wasn't in the mood to clean. So whenever I feel like that, because you know, there's times when you actually like wake up and want to scrub your house from top to bottom and to get everything organized and clean. This wasn't one of those days, so I just tried to make it be like, you know, something that I enjoy doing. So I turned on some music, lit the fire, and just decided to make it as pleasant as possible for myself. So the first thing that I do whenever I'm cleaning anything, but especially the kitchen, is just return things to where they are supposed to be. I find the most random stuff in the kitchen because our house is an open concept. There's always just like stuff in every room that doesn't necessarily belong. So just putting everything back, you know, our laundry room is upstairs, so I have a basket on the stairs where I'll put things that need to go upstairs, just putting the blender away and putting any dirty dishes in the sink and any trash in the garbage. So I filmed this on a Thursday, so our produce game is kind of weak because we need to order groceries, which I actually have coming today on Sunday. So one thing that I like to do on Thursdays is I like to just see what we have and what we need, and I try to get rid of anything by using it up that seems like it will be going bad soon. So for example, these lemons, I'm just cutting them up so they can easily be thrown into our water. You could also make a lemon ginger tonic. You'll see me later in this video use some of this lemon juice for a delicious and healthy cucumber salad, but it's just so nice, and I hate when I throw away food. I feel so guilty, and I try my best to not ever have to do that. A funny story is that I can never cut lemons without remembering my days at the diner. Whenever I would open for my shift, that would always just like be my job, is cutting lemons for the shift. So now every time I cut lemons, I think of that, but it's really nice because it reminds me of how hard I worked to get to where I am today. You know, I worked at the diner during the day, and at night I worked at Bonefish Grill, and this was all to pay for my prerequisites for nursing school. Then once I finally got into nursing school, I worked as a CNA in labor and delivery, and paid for nursing school that way. So yeah, even though I'm not a nurse today, I'm happy that I had that experience, that I knew I could do it, and just everything I learned from it all. But I'm definitely the happiest I've ever been being at home with my kids and creating content for all of you. So continuing on that same trend, I'm just going through everything in the fridge, seeing what I can make from stuff, seeing what has to get used up, cutting up any produce just because I know that'll make it easier to get used. And then I'm going to wipe down the fridge as well. I am also making our lunch with some ground turkey we had in the fridge, and I'm making these really delicious, healthy turkey burgers, so stay tuned for that recipe. Random side note, I tried this Polynesian sauce for the first time when I was in Arizona, and now I'm obsessed with it. Obviously it's not the healthiest, so I try to only use it like once in a while, but I can't believe it took 33 years to try Polynesian sauce. In my last fridge clean out video, I asked you guys how often you cleaned your fridge, and a lot of people said every time they get new groceries, and I was very impressed by that. So I decided to try to implement that in my own life. So I will be wiping down the fridge and just vacuuming everything out. But first, like I said, I'm cutting up that produce that needed to get used up. So we always like to have fresh lettuce on hand. I'll use this on my burgers, in tacos, in salads. So it's just nice to get that all cut up. I feel like I do need to just finally get a salad spinner though, because the lettuce is always so wet. But do you have one and do you actually use it? I just don't want another thing if it doesn't get used up. Also, I love these mini cucumbers. I barely ever buy the larger ones now just because I like these so much. So like I said, I'm making a cucumber salad, and one thing that I try to stress to all of you is that don't get caught up in exact measurements with cooking, unless it's baking, of course. But I used to do that when I first started out cooking, and I would just get stressed out and just not cook. But when I started to have fun and just do things on my own with my own measurements, that's when I started to really enjoy it. So that's just my little tip for you. So I was like, I want a cucumber salad. I want it to be healthy. So I'm just using a random amount of lemon juice, a random amount of olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and salt and pepper. You let it just sit in the fridge, and it was so good and delicious. I'm also just putting our spinach into this produce container. We use spinach all the time for our smoothies, and just trying to dry that lettuce as best as I can before I put that away as well. The last bit of cucumbers here, I'm just gonna leave whole. The kids just like to eat them like that, or sometimes I will cut them up and put them in their lunch boxes with everything seasoning. Okay, speaking of random kitchen gadgets, I finally found a French fry cutter. I was asking on Amazon. I was asking on Instagram and then looking on Amazon. But I finally just bought one that seemed really simple and not massive. And I'm obsessed because, we like to make vegetable fries. So I'm using carrots today to make my own French fries. They're so good. I just covered them in Flavor God everything seasoning. It's so good. It's not like the everything bagel seasoning, it's just everything seasoning, so it's just a bunch of different spices together, and it's delicious. And look how easy this is to use. You barely have to push. I'm also going to be using this week for sweet potatoes. It's just 100% necessary. Look how easy. So now I just added a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper. I'm going to use some of that everything seasoning, and going to put those in the air fryer. I don't know if any of you have a Ninja FOODI, but if you do, it's the best thing in the entire world. So I'm just adding this on air fry for whatever temperature it said for non-frozen fries. Now I'm cutting up some onion. This is just a regular yellow onion. I'm gonna dice it very, very small so that you don't get a huge chunk of onion in your turkey burgers that I'll be making. So I'm just using one package of turkey meat. Also, shout out to everybody who told me that I taught them how to cut an onion. That made me so happy. And I'm using half of that onion, 1 egg, and then more of that everything seasoning that I told you about. It's really good. I love all of the Flavor God seasonings because they're not loaded up with sugar and fake things. And then I'm also just doing a couple drops of Worcestershire sauce. I hope I said that right. It's one of the hardest words to say. And just mixing it up, and going to be making my own burger patties. and putting these on grill in the Ninja Foodie. I'm telling you, if you have a Ninja Foodie, meal prep for the week is so much easier. I mentioned this in my last video that I was really wanting to do an Amazon must-haves for kitchen items, and you all seem to really want that video as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to start working on that. Here's how my fries came out. I'm just giving them a little mix. Gotta let them cook a little bit longer just because I like them really well done. But yeah, moving on, we are making some fresh bread, which may seem random, but we're using up ingredients that we have, so I wanted to get everything used up. For this, you're going to use some honey, you're going to use milk, eggs with melted butter. I just pour everything in the pan. I use gluten-free flour and xanthan gum and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I'll leave the recipe link down below, but I have an Oster bread maker, and there's a gluten-free button on there that you can hit, and it makes gluten-free bread that easy. It takes a couple of hours. It's delicious. I just poke a little hole in here, and I think because I accidentally messed up putting the yeast on the side trying to film, it didn't rise properly, but it usually does. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just wing it and hope for the best, and I know that it tastes good even if it's not always beautiful. All right, the bread is in the bread maker. One of my favorite things about it is that when the kids come home from school, they're like, oh my gosh, what is that amazing smell? Are you making bread? So I love that. And I remember when I would come home from school and my house was clean and my mom would be cooking something, it was just one of my favorite feelings, and I love that for my kids. Thursdays are extra exciting for us, which is when I was recording this, because that's Ella and Tanner's last day of pre-K, and they have off on Fridays. On Fridays, Tanner goes to enrichment, which is where they basically just do a bunch of science experiments, and he loves it. But it's a much shorter day, so this kind of feels like the start of our weekend on a Thursday. So I'm letting our burger and fries cool down and just wiping out the fridge. I'm going to start putting everything back in there.
You, if we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby. Baby. Baby.
I also wanted to mention to stay tuned for another meal prep video, but this meal prep video will be solely focused on eating really well. I've been trying to wake up at 5:30 and work out because Evie always nurses at 5 o'clock in the morning. So then I'm like, if I could just stay up, even on the days that I'm dead tired. I could have never done this when she was waking up all night. I just want to let you know that any mom that's struggling, their kid's not sleeping, don't worry, I would not be able to do this. But now that she's sleeping a little bit better, I feel like I can wake up earlier and start to get workouts in. It's only been a week of doing it, but I feel the world of a difference. I'm more tired at night and I go to bed earlier, and it's been really good for my mental health to start my morning out without getting bossed around by a bunch of kids, to just start it off being quiet and doing something for myself. So anyway, since I've been doing that, I've also been following a more clean meal plan. And I found some recipes that I really love, and I just want to prep. I got more of those little meal prep containers where you actually have a cup of a serving here and a half a cup here. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I've done meal preps like this in the past, But now that I know like what I'm really enjoying, I would like to go ahead and just prep for at least 4 days out of the week, because I get kind of grossed out when things are like sitting in the fridge for a week when you meal prep for the entire week. Anyway, after all this talking, what I'm trying to tell you is that I think I want to do another meal prep video like that and show you what I've been eating, because I think that you would like it, and I obviously encourage all of you to be healthier. I'm not trying to lose weight, I'm just trying to eat healthier and, you know, live a long time and be able to keep up with my kids this summer. I'm doing dishes. Chris is making taco meat for tonight, because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna scrub the kitchen and then make dinner on the cooktop, because I always spill stuff. And so sometimes we like to do that. We'll just make the taco meat ahead of time, and then we put the meat into the shells and put the shells in the oven with cheese on it, and it's just very easy for our family. So that is what we are doing tonight for dinner, and Chris is cooking that while I'm loading up the dishes. I swear, like, these dishes were never ending, but although I started off this video not really wanting to do anything, it felt good to have this all done by the time the kids got home from school, and it just felt like ready for the weekend. It was a very good feeling, so I definitely encourage you all to do that.
And he keeps talking about everything that he likes, and I can't stop listening. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time. I'm thinking about him all the time, all the time. And my heart's beating fast when he's looking like that. Oh, his smile is killing me. It's the way that he moves and the way that he laughs, so I can't get enough. I'm thinking about him all the time. I can't get him off my mind. Oh, I want him to be mine, to be mine. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him now, 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 now. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Oh, the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, 'cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him now, 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 now. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. Yeah, I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want.
Okay, it is 20 years later. The dishes are finally done, and here's how my bread came out. Again, not the most beautiful thing, but it's very, very delicious. The kids love it, and I love that it's just a couple of real ingredients and not a bunch of like fake stuff in it. We also do buy the Canyon gluten-free bread. We love that. That's our favorite store-bought bread. But this is my favorite. Again, I'll have it linked down below. And the bread maker, I think, I want to say is like $80. I'm sure you can find it on sale. Actually, I saw it on Amazon, but I wound up getting it from Bed Bath & Beyond with a coupon. So yeah, just letting you know, homemade bread sounds like crazy and extra, but if you think about it, you literally just pour everything in there and press a button and you're done. So yeah, I encourage you to try it. It's really, really delicious and healthy. I've also seen a lot of people finding bread makers from the thrift store as well, but I don't know if they'd have the one for gluten-free bread. Anyway, scrubbing my sink. I ran out of my sink scrub, so all I did was use some baking soda, lemon essential oil, and some dish soap, and gave it a really good scrub. And to finish it off, I'm just putting some oils in my diffuser because that's the best. So now all of our food is made, our dishes are done, and next I'm just wiping everything down while enjoying my diffuser. Again, trying to make this enjoyable for myself as well.
You love it, come on, give me something. I know that you want it, come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we, so maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some
Next up, I'm cleaning off my cooktop. I'm just gonna spray it down over here and wipe that down, and then wipe down, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the word? The top of the cooktop, I forget what it's called. It's still really early and I haven't had enough coffee, but I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments below. I'm wiping those down after, and for everything that I use in my kitchen, all I do is use the Thieves multi-surface spray. It's just 1 capful of Thieves cleaner, and then the rest water, and then I customize the scent using whatever essential oils I want. A lot of times I'll do peppermint and lemon just because it's such a clean and fresh scent. Alright, so now that that is done, I'm just spraying down the rest of the counters, and I'm using my little plastic razor here. I like it so much better than my metal one because it does just as good as a job, and it's not sharp. I don't have to worry about accidentally leaving it near the kids, even though of course I try to put it up. But I'll try to link that below. It's from Amazon. It was really affordable, and I use it all the time, especially on the island. Since the kids eat at the island a lot, it's always just like so sticky, and there's like caked on food and all of that, so definitely recommend that.
Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over. I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone. It's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home. Your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's another lie. Remember, you were made. I try to work, but it doesn't work. I try to say something, but there's no word. I try to justify my actions. Less reaction.
And then I always like to do the floors last, just because, we're wiping things off and getting crumbs on the floor. Miss Everly is helping me, my little cutie pie. She just woke up from her nap. That's how I was able to get all that stuff done. So yeah, we're just sweeping the floor. I like doing this sometimes because I feel like I can get more than the vacuum does. And my floor is just like always covered in crumbs from like the kids snacking and all of that. So just sweeping everything up. I decided not to mop because it was pouring and the dogs are going in and out of the house. It just felt like, why would I bother? So yeah, just sweeping everything up.
Get out of your comfort zone. It's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home. Your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's another lie. Remember, you were made. I try to work.
So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I'm just finishing up by, Chris taking out the trash, putting a fresh bag in with some lemon oil in the bottom just to make it smell nice and fresh. I know it looks so dark in the background, but it's actually the middle of the day. It was just a very gloomy day. And don't worry, 5 minutes later we were back to making messes, but it was still worth it. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and thank you so much for being here.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul.